Hi everybody, welcome back to Happy Bake Day, where every day is a happy bake day. Today I am joined with Chef Dennis Chan.
Hi.
And if you remember, we actually got to meet him and interview with him over at his restaurant Blue Bamboo. If you missed that episode, you can actually check it out right here. Today is the very first episode in our delicious cookie series. We are going to be making traditional Hamantaschen, which is a cookie that's eaten during the Jewish holiday of Purim. Thanks for joining me today.
Happy to be here.
So we have a couple of different jams that we're going to use in the filling. Tell me about the jams that you brought today.
Oh gosh, I went to the general store near my restaurant, and they had a great selection. They had key lime, they had orange marmalade, they had a cool jam called toe jam, and it's tangerine, orange, and elderberry.
So not like toe jam from your...
No. Gross.
So I'm super excited to bake with you. We also have some cherry butter. In case you're wondering, these are not some of the most traditional Hamantaschen flavors, but that's one of the best thing about these cookies is that you can fill them with whatever your favorite jam, marmalade, or sometimes pie fillings can be, and that way you can make them versatile and just how you like them. We're going to need a couple of ingredients for this recipe. Those ingredients include...
You'll need 2 large eggs, 2/3 of a cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of canola oil, 1 teaspoon of orange zest, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 1/4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 to 5 teaspoons of water if needed.
Our first step in making these cookies is to preheat our oven, and we need to preheat it to 350 degrees.
Watch this movie. Don't.
Our next step is to mix together some of our wet ingredients into a large bowl until everything's really well combined. After that, we'll mix together the remaining dry ingredients again until it's well combined, and you're going to keep them in a separate bowl until a later time when we're going to combine them together.
Can you see it? Because, well, we'll let you hear the beginning first. Thank you.
I love orange zest. It smells
Yeah,
so
it smells
good.
so good. That's what I was just thinking.
We mixed our wet ingredients in one bowl and dry ingredients in the next. What we did was we slowly added the wet ingredients into the dry, and we have this beautiful, nice crumbly dough and the orange zest.
It
Oh
smells so
my
good.
gosh, it smells just like summertime. It's so nice. The next step, as you can see, our dough is a little crumbly. We're going to very, very slowly add some water. I do have it here in a small measuring cup along with a small, this is a ½ tablespoon. And you'll just add the water 1 small scoop at a time until the dough is no longer crumbly and it's just slightly tacky to the touch. Once you've added enough water so that there's no longer all of these crumbles in your bowl, feel free to turn it out onto your counter and actually knead the rest of it by hand. And we just want to make sure we don't overwork our dough. So our beautiful Hamantaschen dough is kneaded and it's gorgeous. We added about a ½ tablespoon plus 1/4 of a tablespoon of water to get this really beautiful, slightly tacky, smooth dough. And again, we kneaded it just for maybe a minute or two just to make sure everything's incorporated well. And again, you don't want to over mix this accidentally, but this will bake up beautifully. The next step is we'll lightly flour the rest of our countertop, and we're gonna roll the dough out. You'll roll it out to be about 1/4 of an inch thick, And then you're going to use a round cookie cutter to cut out as many circles as possible. Now the cookie cutter that we're going to use, I do recommend using a larger one that'll be at least 3 inches in diameter. If you go any smaller, it becomes hard to add any jam and filling. You can go bigger if you want, especially if you're using like a cherry pie filling or a blueberry pie filling and you want some of that nice like center, like gooey center. You can use a bigger cookie cutter, but today we're going to be using a 3-inch cookie cutter. You'll cut out as many cookies as you can, and then what you'll do is you can roll up the dough scraps, re-roll it out, and then cut out more circles so that we'll have as many circles as possible with your cookie cutter. Now, this dough does dry out fairly quickly, so what you're going to do as soon as you roll out your cookies and you cut their circles out, you'll take a teaspoon and you'll fill 1 teaspoon of the jam right into the middle of your circle, and then you'll fold them into that classic triangle shape. And I'll show you a quick and easy way to get perfect triangles every time without having to pinch the corners and worry about them opening up during baking. Our beautiful dough has been rolled and has been cut into our circles. We've also put a dollop of our jam in the center. We did kind of vary the jams, so we'll have a couple different flavors to choose from. And the next step is to do our fold to make them into that classic triangle shape for Hamantaschen. Now I know a lot of people will think, oh, I'll just pinch the corners. But the trouble with pinching the corners is during the baking process, the corners won't stay pinched and they'll open up, and then you'll have a disc-shaped cookie with your jam kind of spilling out. So the way I like to do it is you actually fold the corners over top of each other, almost like origami, and then they won't open up and your jam will stay tightly packed in the middle. So this is how I like to do it. I'll do one side first. Then we do the other side, and then finally, third will come up and over like that. And then that way when it bakes, our filling will stay nicely in the center, and these should not open up. And you can also just kind of push down a little bit on the edges too, but then they'll stay in our shape. So our oven has finished preheating. They're gonna bake for about 20 to 25 minutes, and they'll get a really nice golden brown crust when they're ready to be pulled out from the oven. We can put 2 trays in at once, and what we'll do is about halfway through the bake time, we'll just rotate our trays, and then we'll put our 3rd tray in last. Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Good.
Our gorgeous Hamantaschen are out of the oven. They have a beautiful crust and they look amazing.
They smell great too. There's so many different flavors that we put in the center, and we did try one.
We did.
Yes, we sampled one hot out of the oven, and it was so beautifully crumbly and flaky, and the dough is just a great recipe.
Yeah, I think so too. And the jam is really, really sweet. And as these continue to cool down, they'll get a little kind of gooey and gummy, and it'll be really, really, really nice with that crunchy crust with that nice sweet gooey inside. It'll be really, really perfect. I also like that we have so many different flavors, like you mentioned earlier, so you can kind of pair it with a nice cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And the best thing is these were made dairy-free. Thank you so much for joining us today while we made these wonderful Hamantaschen. This is, again, the very first episode in our cookie series, so we hope that you'll join us for other future fun cookie episodes we'll be filming together. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you had fun baking with us today. We appreciate each and every single subscriber as you join me on this journey from baker to baker. You can also visit our website or follow us on social media for this and all of our other fun recipes. Until next time, we hope you have a very happy bake day.